Dr. Han Ju stared at her computer screen, then blinked hard and looked again. The pattern didn't change. She had been comparing blood samples from 12 different alien species for the past 3 months, but this was the first time she'd noticed something so obvious that it now seemed impossible to miss. Do-hyun, can you come look at this? She called to her research partner. Dr. Kim Do-hyun rolled his chair across their small lab, his coffee cup still steaming in his hand. What did you find? Look at these blood pattern analyses. Every single alien species we've studied has just one blood type. The Centaurians, the Proximas, even the silicon-based life forms from Tau Ceti. They're all uniform within their species. She pointed at her screen, where neat rows of data showed identical patterns for each alien race. Do-hyun took a sip of his coffee and leaned closer. That's normal, isn't it? Most species evolve to have the most efficient blood type for their biology. Yes, but that's exactly my point. Ju pulled up another screen. Look at human blood samples. We have A, B, AB, O, plus all the positive and negative variations. We're the only ones, the only species in all our data with multiple blood types. Do-hyun set his coffee down, suddenly more interested. That can't be right. There must be others. I've checked the entire database. 300 years of contact with alien species, and we're the only ones with this level of variation. It doesn't make evolutionary sense. Ju stood up and walked to the lab's sample storage unit. She pulled out a tray of human blood samples, each tube carefully labeled with its type. Next to it, she placed a tray of Centaurian blood samples, their purple color stark against the red of human blood. I want to try something, she said, moving to the analysis station. She placed a drop of type A blood under the quantum scanner, a gift from the Proximas that could analyze matter at the subatomic level. The scanner hummed to life, its soft blue light pulsing as it read the sample. Ju adjusted some settings, pushing the scanner to its highest sensitivity. There, she pointed at the readout. Do you see that energy pattern? Do-hyun leaned in, his eyes widening. That's not normal. Blood shouldn't emit that kind of signature. Ju quickly replaced the sample with type B blood. The scanner showed a different pattern, but with similar underlying characteristics. She repeated the process with A, B, and O samples. Each blood type has its own unique energy signature, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It's like they're encoded with something. Run the alien samples, Do-hyun suggested, already reaching for the Centaurian blood. They spent the next 2 hours testing every alien blood sample they had. None showed the same kind of energy patterns as human blood. This isn't random variation, Ju said finally, sitting back in her chair. These patterns are too precise, too structured. It's almost like what? Like they were designed. She turned to face her colleague. Do-hyun, what if our blood types aren't a natural occurrence? What if someone engineered them? Before Do-hyun could respond, their lab's communication panel lit up with an urgent message from Mars Colony. Ju tapped the screen to open it. The message was brief but clear. During a routine geological survey, they had discovered something impossible, a facility that predated human civilization, and somehow it was responding to human blood. Ju looked at the blood samples still laid out on their lab table, then at the energy pattern readings on her screen. Do-hyun, she said slowly, I think we just stumbled onto something big, really big. He nodded, already reaching for his phone to cancel his evening plans. They both knew they wouldn't be leaving the lab anytime soon. Humanity had just taken its first step toward discovering a truth that would change everything they thought they knew about themselves. What had started as a routine comparison of xenobiological samples was about to reveal a secret buried in their very veins, a secret that had been waiting thousands of years to be discovered. 3 weeks after the architect's message was revealed, the world had changed. Dr. Han Ju watched the news reports from her temporary office in the Mars facility with growing worry. A group calling themselves Pure Blood had taken over several major blood banks on Earth. They claimed that O-negative blood types were superior because they could donate to anyone. Their leader, a charismatic businessman, was all over the news. Only the universal donors should control the architect's technology. He said in his latest speech, "We are clearly the chosen ones." Jiwoo's computer beeped with an incoming call from Dr. Lee Heejin. "It's getting worse," Heijin said as soon as her face appeared on screen. "Pure blood groups are popping up everywhere. They're trying to stop people with other blood types from accessing hospitals and research centers." "Don't they understand?" Jiwoo asked, rubbing her tired eyes. "The architects made it clear. We need all blood types working together." "People hear what they want to hear," Heijin replied. "But that's not why I called. The facility's outer sensors are picking up more activity. Whatever's out there, it's getting closer." Jiwoo switched screens to look at the sensor data. The dark shape they had detected was now clearly moving through the Kuiper belt, past Pluto's orbit. "How long do we have?" she asked. "At its current speed, maybe 6 months." Heijin looked down at something off-screen. "But there's more." I finally decoded another part of the architect's message. It explains why they really left. Before she could continue, alarms started blaring in the facility. Dr. Kim Do-yeon rushed into Jiwoo's office. "We have intruders," he said, breathing hard. "A pure blood group somehow got past Mars colony security. They're trying to access the central chamber with only O-negative blood samples." Jiwoo jumped up. "That won't work. The chamber needs all types to activate safely. They could damage the whole system." They ran to the central chamber. Through the observation window, they could see 5 people in stolen spacesuits trying to force the scanning stations to work. "Stop!" Jiwoo shouted through the room's speakers. "You'll trigger the defense systems." But it was too late. As the intruders placed their blood samples on the scanners, the facility's security protocols activated. Red lights flashed everywhere. The chamber sealed itself, trapping the intruders inside. Then something unexpected happened. The walls of the chamber began showing new images, scenes of destruction, of worlds burning, of entire civilizations falling. "What are we seeing?" Do-yeon asked. Dr. Kang Sunwoo, who had been quietly studying the images, spoke up. "It's a warning. I think these are recordings of what happened to the architect's other worlds." The intruders stood frozen, watching the terrible scenes play out around them. Security teams from Mars colony finally arrived to arrest them. Later that day, Jiwoo, Do-yeon, and Kang sat in the facility's conference room with Heijin on the video screen. "The message I decoded," Heijin said, "it explains everything. The architects didn't just leave. They were running. The enemy destroyed their civilization because the architects tried to fight them alone, as a single unified species. So they created us differently," Jiwoo said slowly, "with varying blood types, different abilities. Because diversity is strength," Kang finished. "They made sure we couldn't fall into the same trap they did. We physically can't face this enemy unless all blood types work together." Jiwoo looked at the sensor data again, at the dark shape getting closer to their solar system. "Then we need to convince everyone on Earth of this truth. Fast. Some people are already getting it," Do-yeon said, showing them his tablet. "Look." The news showed crowds of people gathering outside hospitals and blood banks, protecting them from pure blood protesters. Signs read "all types together" and "unity in diversity." "There's hope," Jiwoo said, "but we need more time. The enemy is coming, and we've only begun to understand what the architects left us." The facility hummed around them, its ancient systems still waking up, waiting for humanity to truly unite and claim their inheritance. Park Min-ho wished he had worn warmer socks. Even through his heated suit, the cold of the Martian cave system seemed to seep into his bones. He checked his oxygen levels again, still good for another 4 hours, and continued scanning the cave wall with his geological mapper. "Base, this is Survey Team 3, he said into his radio. "We're about 2 kilometers into the northern cave system." Nothing unusual to report except. He stopped talking as his mapper started beeping rapidly. Except what? Team 3. The base controller asked. Minho moved his mapper slowly across the wall again. The readings made no sense. I'm picking up some strange density patterns in the rock. It's regular. Too regular to be natural. He pulled out his high-powered light and shone it across the cave wall. The beam caught something that definitely wasn't rock. A faint line, perfectly straight, running along the wall. Base, I think we need to call in the archaeology team, he said, his heart beating faster. There's something artificial here. Within an hour, the cave was buzzing with activity. Teams of scientists and engineers carefully cleared away the loose rock, revealing what looked like a doorway made of a dark, metallic material they had never seen before. Look at these markings, said Dr. Yang Yunji, the lead archaeologist, pointing at 4 circular ports set into the wall beside the door. They're not like anything we found in other Martian sites. The ports were each slightly different in size and shape, arranged in a diamond pattern. They seemed to pulse with a faint, barely visible light. How old is this? Minho asked, still hardly believing what they had found. Dr. Yang checked her dating equipment again. At least 300,000 years old. Long before humans even existed on Earth. She shook her head. This shouldn't be possible. They tried everything they could think of to open the door. They scanned it with every type of radiation. They tried electromagnetic pulses. They even attempted to interface with it using alien technology from their allies. Nothing worked. Then came the accident that changed everything. One of the junior engineers, tired after a long shift, slipped while adjusting some equipment. He cut his hand on a sharp edge of his tool, and a few drops of blood fell near one of the scanning ports. The port suddenly lit up with a bright blue glow. Everyone in the cave froze. Did anyone else see that? The engineer asked, clutching his bleeding hand. Dr. Yang rushed to check the port. It's responding to the blood, she said in disbelief. She looked at the other 3 ports. Quick, does anyone know his blood type? The medical officer checked the engineer's file. He's type A positive. They quickly discovered that the port only reacted to type A blood. The other ports remained dark and inactive. Get me samples of all blood types, Dr. Yang ordered. And contact Earth immediately. We need Dr. Han and Dr. Kim from the Xenobiology Institute here as soon as possible. Word spread quickly through the Mars base. Soon, people were lining up to offer blood samples, eager to help unlock the ancient mystery. Each blood type caused different reactions in the facility. Type B made different sections of the wall light up. Type AB caused strange humming sounds. Type O made geometric patterns appear on the surface. But it wasn't until they tried a specific sequence of different blood types that something truly amazing happened. The door began to move. As the heavy metal door slowly slid open for the first time in hundreds of thousands of years, Minho felt a shiver run down his spine that had nothing to do with the cold. Inside, they could see a vast chamber filled with technology that looked far more advanced than anything humanity, or even their alien allies, had ever created. Base, Dr. Yang said into her radio, her voice filled with awe. You're not going to believe what we're seeing. This isn't just a door or a room. This is something much bigger. She was right. They had just discovered the first piece of a puzzle that would reveal the true purpose of humanity's unique blood types, and their role in something far greater than they could have imagined. The enemy ships entered the solar system on a quiet Tuesday morning. Their dark shapes blocked out the stars as they approached Mars. In the Mars Facilities Control Center, Dr. Han Jiwoo watched the main screen with her team. The defense network glowed bright blue around Earth and each planet, now at 98% power. They're sending a message, Dr. Lee Haijin announced from Earth. The facility's computers began translating alien signals into human language. The message was simple. Surrender the architect's technology. This system is now ours. They think we're just using leftover tools, Dr. Kim Do-yeon said. They don't understand what the architects really did. Ju-woo pressed a button on her control panel. This is Dr. Han Ju-woo of Earth. We will not surrender. This is our home. The enemy ships spread out, surrounding Mars. Their weapons began to glow with strange, dark energy. The same weapons they used against the architects. Dr. Kang Sun-woo said, checking his readings. They're powering up. All facilities, full activation. Ju-woo commanded. Every blood-type team to your stations. This is what we prepared for. Around Earth and Mars, thousands of people worked together at control panels. Each pair of different blood types powered different parts of the defense system. The shield network grew stronger, brighter. The enemy fired their first shot. A beam of dark energy hit Mars' shield, but instead of breaking through, the energy spread out across the network, making it stronger. It's working, Do-yeon shouted. The architect's design. It's using their own energy against them. The enemy ships fired again and again. Each shot made the shield network glow brighter, but soon cracks began to appear. Shield network at 99%, Dr. Lee reported. But it's not enough. We need the Unity key. Ju-woo nodded. All facilities, prepare for Unity key activation. Every blood type team, stand ready. In the Mars facility's central chamber, 8 people stood at their stations, 1 for each blood type. Similar groups stood ready in facilities across Earth. On my mark, Ju-woo said. 3, 2, 1. Now. All 8 blood types activated their stations at the same time. The facility filled with bright golden light. The shield network changed color, from blue to pure white. Through their sensors, they could see the enemy ships pause in surprise. Their weapons powered down for a moment. They recognized this energy signature, Kang said. It's the same as the architects, but different, stronger. The enemy ships regrouped, preparing for one final attack. Their weapons charged to full power. But before they could fire, something unexpected happened. The white shield sent out pulses of energy, touching each enemy ship. As it did, ancient symbols appeared on their hulls. Those are architect markings, Dr. Lee said excitedly. The ships, they're old. They were built using architect technology. Ju-woo understood suddenly. That's why they hunted the architects. They stole their technology, but never fully understood it. Not like we do. The white shield energy spread through the enemy ships, shutting down their weapons. Their dark energy faded away. A new message came from the enemy fleet. How? How did you master their power when we could not? Ju-woo smiled as she replied. Because the architects didn't just leave us their technology. They made us their children. They put their knowledge in our very blood and made us different from each other so we would learn to work together. The enemy ships hung silent in space. Finally, another message came. We have fought this power for 10,000 years. Perhaps it is time to learn instead. Hours later, Ju-woo sat with her team, watching the enemy fleet slowly withdraw to a safe distance. They had requested to open peaceful talks with Earth. The architects knew this would happen, Do-yeon said. They didn't just give us weapons. They gave us a way to make peace. By making us different, Ju-woo agreed. By forcing us to learn how to unite despite our differences. She looked at the shield network, still glowing white around their solar system. We're not just their children now. We're their legacy. Their hope for a better future. Around them, the facility hummed peacefully. On Earth, people celebrated together, all blood types united as one. Humanity had faced its greatest test and passed by learning the true power of their differences. Dr. Han Ju-woo and her team gathered in the Mars facility's newly discovered control room. The walls were covered with glowing screens showing the solar system. A large red dot was moving steadily closer to their region of space. 4 months, Dr. Lee Hee-jin said through the video link from Earth. That's how long until they reach our solar system. Dr. Kim Do-yeon pointed to a new set of symbols that had appeared on one of the screens. Look at this. The facility is changing. It's growing. He was right. Over the past week, new rooms had appeared throughout the complex. Walls shifted and reformed on their own. It was as if the whole facility was slowly waking up. I found something interesting, Dr. Kang Sunwoo said, walking in with his tablet. Each blood type combination opens different parts of what looks like a defense network. A positive activates energy shields. B negative controls some kind of weapon system. AB positive seems to handle communication. And O types? Ju asked. They're special, Kang replied. O blood types can activate everything, but only at a basic level. For full power, we need all types working together. Just then, a noob alarm sounded. Unlike the usual warning bells, this one was deep and musical, almost like a song. The largest screen in the room lit up, showing a map of Earth. Dots of light began appearing all over the planet's surface. What are those? Do-hyun asked. Dr. Lee typed rapidly on her computer back on Earth. They're other facilities, smaller ones, hidden all over Earth. They're activating in response to the main facility here on Mars. The dots of light began connecting to each other with lines of energy. Soon, the whole Earth was covered in a glowing web. It's a shield network, Ju said, her eyes wide. The architects didn't just build this facility. They built a whole planetary defense system. New symbols appeared on the screens. Dr. Lee translated them quickly. It says, "The network awakens. All keys must unite. The barrier must rise." Suddenly, all the screens in the room changed to show 8 circles arranged in a pattern. Each circle was marked with a different blood type. Look familiar? Do-hyun asked. Ji-woo nodded. Just like human blood type inheritance patterns. The way blood types pass from parents to children. It's the same pattern. The architects didn't just give us different blood types randomly, Kang said excitedly. They designed a whole system to make sure the codes would spread through the population evenly. No matter what happened, humanity would always have all the keys. A new message flashed across the screens. Warning. Enemy approaches. Defense network at 12% capacity. Full activation required. Only 12%. Do-hyun looked worried. How do we power it up more? Dr. Lee's voice came through clearly. We need people of all blood types working together at every facility on Earth, not just here on Mars. The whole network needs to wake up. The musical alarm changed tone, becoming more urgent. New images showed the enemy ships, huge dark shapes moving through space, already past Pluto. Send the word to every government, Ju said firmly. We need volunteers of all blood types at every facility site. The pure blood movement needs to end now. There's no time for fighting among ourselves. The facility hummed with power around them. Through the windows, they could see new structures rising from the Martian soil. Towers and domes that had been hidden for thousands of years. The architects built all this, Do-hyun said softly, and trusted us to be ready when the time came. They did more than that, Ju replied, watching the network of lights spread across the Earth. They made sure we had to work together to survive. They built unity into our very blood. Above them, the facility continued to transform, ancient machinery coming to life after hundreds of thousands of years of sleep. On the screens, the enemy ships grew larger. The race to unite humanity and activate the full defense network had begun. The news spread across Earth like wildfire. Every screen, every news channel, and every social feed showed the same headlines. Ancient alien facility responds to human blood types, and architect's legacy found on Mars. Dr. Lee Haijin sat in her small office at the Global Cryptography Center, surrounded by screens showing different parts of the Mars facility's code. As Earth's top code breaker, she had been called in to help understand the architect's messages. These patterns are unlike anything I've ever seen, she said to herself, taking another sip of her cold tea. The symbols changed and moved like living things, each blood type revealing different layers of information. Her computer beeped with an incoming call. It was Dr. Han Juwu from Mars. "Dr. Lee, we found something new," Juwu said, her face excited even through the tired look in her eyes. "When we tested blood subtypes separately, they showed different clearance levels. A positive and a negative access completely different systems." Haijin quickly pulled up her latest data. "That matches what I'm seeing in the code. It's like a security system with multiple layers. Each blood type is a key, and the positive or negative factor is like having administrator access." On another screen, she could see news reports from around the world. Blood banks were now under heavy guard. People with rare blood types were being offered huge sums of money by private companies wanting to study them. "The situation is getting tense down here," Haijin said, switching screens to show Juwu the news. "Some countries are claiming that people with certain blood types should be considered special citizens because they can access different parts of the facility." Juwu frowned. "That's exactly what we were afraid of. Have you managed to decode any more of the warning message we found?" "Yes, but it's strange." Haijin pulled up a document. "From what I can tell, the architects designed the system this way on purpose. They wanted to make sure no single group could control everything. You need all blood types working together to access the facility's most important areas." Just then, both their screens lit up with an emergency alert. Someone had tried to force their way into the Mars facility using synthesized blood. "What happened?" Haijin asked, watching the red warning lights flash across her data feeds. "The facility's defense systems activated," Juwu replied, looking off-screen at something. It rejected the fake blood. Rather strongly. The whole section is now sealed off." Haijin typed quickly, bringing up the facility's new security readings. "Look at this." After the attack, the facility changed its authentication patterns. It's learning, adapting to protect itself. "Like a living security system," Juwu said. "But that's not even the biggest news. Dr. Lee, we found out why the positive and negative factors matter so much. They're not just access levels. They're parts of a larger code." Haijin leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "We think." Juwu looked around as if checking if anyone else could hear. "We think the architects hid something huge. Something they wanted to protect so badly that they encoded it into human DNA itself. The blood types are just the first layer." Before Haijin could respond, her office door opened. Two government officials walked in, looking serious. "Dr. Lee," one of them said, "we need you to come with us. The World Council is meeting in emergency session. They need your expertise immediately." Haijin looked back at her screen, where Juwu was watching with concern. "Keep working," she told her colleague. "Whatever the architects left for us to find, we need to understand it before things get out of hand." As she gathered her things, Haijin's screens kept showing news from around the world. People were already dividing themselves based on blood types. Some were claiming superiority, others were hoarding blood samples, and governments were scrambling to maintain control. But deep in her gut, Haijin knew this was just the beginning. The architects hadn't just left them a facility. They had left humanity a mystery that could either unite or divide them forever. And time to solve it was running out. The central chamber of the Mars facility was larger than 3 football fields. Dr. Han Juwu stood with her team as they prepared for their riskiest experiment yet. "Is everyone ready?" she asked, looking at the group of volunteers. Each person had been chosen for their specific blood type. They needed all 8 main types: A plus, A, B plus, B, AB plus, AB, O plus, and O. Dr. Kim Do-yeon checked the medical equipment one last time. All monitors are working. Everyone's vital signs are good. They had discovered that the central chamber had 8 scanning stations arranged in a circle. Each one needed a different blood type, used in the right order. "Remember," Juwu said to the volunteers, "if anything feels wrong, step away from your station immediately." Dr. Kang Sunwoo, their genetic historian, watched from the observation room above. His job was to record and understand whatever message the architects had left for them. The team took their positions. One by one, they placed their hands on the scanning panels. The room hummed louder with each activation. When the last person, a young engineer with blood, touched her panel, the entire chamber transformed. The walls became screens, showing moving images all around them. In the center of the room, a large hologram appeared. It showed beings that looked almost human, but not quite. They were tall and graceful, with silvery skin and large eyes. The architects. Starting translation. Dr. Lee Heejin said from Earth, connected through their video link. Her computers began converting the architect's symbols into human languages. The first words appeared. To our children, the ones we shaped from the clay of Earth. Everyone in the room held their breath. The message continued. We are the architects, and you are our greatest creation. We gave you something unique. Blood that carries not just life, but codes. Keys to unlock the knowledge and power we left behind. Images showed the architects working with DNA strands, carefully building the human blood type system. We had to hide our legacy. The message went on. Our enemy was too strong. We could not fight them directly. So we created you, hid our knowledge in your very bodies, and waited for you to grow wise enough to find it. Dr. Kang typed frantically on his tablet. This changes everything we know about human evolution, he said. The architects didn't just give us different blood types. They designed our entire species. The hologram showed stars and planets, mapping out distant parts of space. The enemy sleeps now, but they will wake again. We made you different from other species. Your blood types are not just keys. They are codes to activate the defenses we built. Suddenly, more chambers opened around them. Each one held different kinds of technology. Machines that looked more advanced than anything humans had ever seen. But be warned, the message continued, its tone becoming more serious. The system needs all types working together. This is why we made you diverse. No single group can access everything. You must unite to survive. Dr. Lee's voice came through their speakers. The encryption patterns in each blood type, they're like puzzle pieces. They only work when combined. Just then, the facility's alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed everywhere. What's happening? Ju asked, looking around. Dr. Lee's voice was tense. Something's activated in the outer solar system. Some kind of ancient sensor network. It's picking up movement. Something big, coming from deep space. The architect's message showed one final image. A dark shape moving between the stars, heading toward their solar system. The enemy approaches, the message said. You must prepare. All blood types, all peoples, must work as one. This is why we made you as you are. This is your purpose. The hologram faded, but the facility continued humming with new energy. Systems that had been sleeping for hundreds of thousands of years were waking up. Ju looked at her team, then at the ancient technology around them. Call the World Council, she said. Tell them everything. We don't have much time to learn how to use what the architects left us. As her words echoed in the vast chamber, everyone present knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had finally learned why they were different from every other species in the galaxy. Now they had to prove they were worthy of the architect's trust. The next 2 months passed in a blur of activity. Every nation on Earth worked together for the first time in human history. They had no choice. Survival depended on it. Dr. Han Ju stood in the Mars facility's main control room, watching screens that showed activities all around Earth. Thousands of people formed lines outside the newly discovered facilities, organized by blood type. Status report, she called out to her team. Defense network at 67% capacity. Dr. Kim Do-yeon replied, checking his readings. All major facilities are now active and running. Dr. Lee Heejin's voice came through the speakers from Earth. The pure blood movement is finally breaking up. Their leader just publicly admitted he was wrong. He's now helping organize blood-type diversity teams. Good, Ju said. What about the master key theory? Dr. Kang Sunwoo walked over with his tablet. We were right. When we combine blood samples from all 8 main types in the right order, it creates a complete access code. The architects called it the Unity Key. On the main screen, the red dot showing the enemy fleet grew larger. They had passed Neptune's orbit and were still coming. 2 months left, Do-hyun said quietly. Will we be ready? Before anyone could answer, all the facility's screens changed at once. New data poured in from the outer defense sensors. They're scanning us, Dr. Lee reported from Earth. The enemy ships are sending out energy beams, studying our system. Suddenly, the facility's lights brightened. A new hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing a complete map of the solar system. Around Earth, a faint blue shield was becoming visible. The defense network is responding, Kang said excitedly. Look, it's not just Earth that's protected. There are hidden facilities on every planet and major moon in our system. Jiwoo watched as lines of energy connected all the facilities, forming a massive web throughout the solar system. The architects didn't just give us Earth to protect. They gave us the whole system. A new alarm sounded. On the screens, they could see the enemy ships changing formation. The large vessels split into smaller ones, spreading out. They recognized the defense pattern, Dr. Lee said, her voice tense. They've seen it before, in their war with the architects. Then they'll know our weaknesses, Do-hyun said worriedly. No, Jiwoo replied, studying the data. They know the architects' weaknesses. But we're different. The architects made sure of that. She turned to her team. The architects failed because they were all the same. One species, one blood type, one way of thinking. But humans, she smiled. We're multiple blood types working together. Our diversity makes us stronger. Speaking of working together, Dr. Lee interrupted. You need to see this. The screen showed crowds at facilities all over Earth. People of different blood types were paired up at control stations. Each pair activated different defense systems, making the shield network stronger. Defense network now at 82% capacity, Do-hyun reported. It's working. But their success had not gone unnoticed. The enemy ships changed course slightly, moving faster. They're trying to get here before we're fully powered up, Kang said. Jiwoo nodded. Then we need to work faster. Send word to all facilities. We need more volunteers. Every blood type, every combination working together. What about the Unity Key? Dr. Lee asked. Should we try it now? Not yet, Jiwoo replied. The architects left that for last, as an emergency measure. We need to get as strong as we can on our own first. On the screens, more and more people arrived at facilities worldwide. The defense network's power level kept rising. 85%, 87%, 89%. One more thing, Kang said, showing them new data. The enemy ships, they're carrying something strange. Energy readings we've never seen before. The architect's last message mentioned a weapon, Do-hyun remembered. Something that nearly wiped them out. Jiwoo looked at the approaching fleet, then at the growing shield around their solar system. Whatever they're bringing, she said, we'll face it together. All blood types, all of humanity, united as one. The facility hummed with power around them, ancient machines working at full speed. The final countdown to humanity's greatest test had begun. Dr. Han Jiwoo had never been to Mars before. As she looked through the thick windows of the Mars shuttle, the red planet grew larger and larger. Beside her, Dr. Kim Do-hyun was reviewing their research data on his tablet for the 100th time. I still can't believe they found a facility that responds to blood types, he said, shaking his head. What are the odds that we discovered the blood type patterns just days before this? Maybe not a coincidence, Jiwoo replied, watching the Mars colony come into view. Maybe we were meant to find both things now. After landing and going through decontamination, they were taken straight to the cave system. Dr. Yang Eunji met them at the entrance, looking excited but tired. You need to see this immediately, she said, leading them through the tunnels. "We've been running tests with different blood samples. Each type does something unique." They reached the chamber with the 4 scanning ports. Screens and equipment were set up everywhere, monitoring every possible kind of reading. "Show us," Ju said, pulling out her own testing kit. Dr. Yang took 4 sealed vials of blood, each a different type. "Watch carefully," she said. She placed a drop of type of blood on the first port. Blue lights appeared on the walls, forming what looked like a star map. Type B blood on the second port made different lights appear, showing what seemed to be technical diagrams. Type AB blood in the third port created a series of symbols that floated in the air like holograms. "And here's the really interesting part," Dr. Yang said, putting type O blood on the last port. The whole room hummed to life. The walls became transparent, revealing more chambers and corridors beyond. "It's like a security system," Do-Yun said, walking around the room. "Each blood type is a different key, unlocking different parts of the facility." Ju was studying the symbols that appeared with the AB blood. "These look familiar," she said, "similar to markings found on artifacts from other ancient sites on Earth." They spent hours testing different combinations. They discovered that the positive and negative versions of each blood type mattered too. A positive blood types opened some doors, while B negative could access different computer systems. "Look at this," Ju called out late in the day. She had been analyzing the energy patterns in the room. "The facility isn't just reading the blood types. It's reading the specific energy signatures we found in our lab." "But who built this?" Do-Yun asked. "And why use human blood types as keys?" Dr. Yang pointed to a symbol that kept appearing in many places. "We think they called themselves the architects. This marking shows up in their writings, but we've only translated a small part of it so far." Just then, one of the younger scientists rushed in. "Dr. Han, we found something in the new section. It looks like some kind of message." They followed him to another chamber. Here, the walls were covered in moving images, telling a story. They showed tall, elegant beings working with what looked like DNA structures. "They were genetic engineers," Ju said softly, watching the images. "They didn't just find human blood types. They created them." "But why?" Do-Yun asked. "Why give humans different blood types when no other species has them?" Before anyone could answer, a new set of symbols appeared on the wall. They were different from the others, marked in red and seeming more urgent. "It's some kind of warning," Dr. Yang said, working on her translation device. "Something about protection and a threat." Ju looked at the blood samples they had been testing, then at the ancient facility around them. "We're not just looking at an archaeological discovery," she said. "We're looking at an inheritance. The architects left this for us to find. And they made sure only humans could access it," Do-Yun added, "by programming the keys into our very blood." As they stood there, surrounded by the ancient technology, more lights began to come on throughout the facility. Whatever the architects had left for humanity, it was slowly waking up. And soon, they would find out exactly why humans had been given such unique blood types, and what they were meant to protect.